I proceed, I must acknowledge our dear High Commissioner, a friend of Guyana, someone who has left a strong legacy, big shoes to fill as the new High Commissioner arrives, but someone who is a reliable partner and one who has really advanced in an aggressive way the relationship between Guyana and Canada. I know all Guyanese would join me in saying thank you very much for the service you give to Guyana and the representation you give for Canada. In this room also, I must acknowledge the Private Sector Commission, AmCham, and I'm very happy that you're all in the same room. As High Commissioner said, this is not a competition. This is not a competition between chambers. I know many of you share membership in all the chambers. Very, very interesting. So you have shared loyalty to all the chambers. But more importantly, all of you have a common interest, and that is to see greater collaboration, greater facilitation, better coordination, better mobilization. Of course, all of this leads to some amount of standardization in which you do business and carry out your business. And eventually, with your work, this would revitalize and energize the interests in both Guyana and Canada. The importance of this chamber is to help to organize this work and to bring structure to the work in energizing the business environment both here and in Canada. High Commissioner, you made a point about Guyana not falling into the trap of resisting foreign investment. I want to assure you that the government of Guyana would not resist but assist foreign investors. There is no point of saying we are part of a global environment, of understanding we are competing in a global environment, of understanding that we are part of a global network, but at the same time, do not recognize that we are also part of global competition. But it is how we manage this global competition. And this is why I said before our local private sector, and I must congratulate them, they need to step their game up, and they're stepping the game up. I have all confidence in the private sector of Guyana and the leaders in Guyana that they will step their game up and they will be equal partners wherever they go. There will be partners that will fit the bill. There will be partners that will become capable, that will achieve the technological transfer that is needed to manage the new economy. But equally, I'm sure the private sector by now agrees that there must be a period of transition where the skills is not there, the technology might not be there, and even the capital will not be there. So it is very, very important that we build and collaborate with partners internationally. Today, we are building and collaborating between Guyana and Canada. And this collaboration must be to the mutual benefit of the investors, but more importantly, to the benefit of the country. The role of the government is to facilitate the relationship. We depend on you, the private sector operative, to ensure that that relationship and that investment rebounds to the benefit of the Guyanese people. And that is where the role of the government is. So I read constantly different opinions, and I respect every single opinion on the role of foreign investment in our new economy. I read the criticisms, and I read the positives. But important enough, the government understands the reality. And I think the private sector here in Guyana and the global private sector understands the reality. And that is why it's so critical for us to match the skills, match the technology, and bring together that capital investment and framework that is needed to take our country forward. At the end of the day, as High Commissioner rightfully points out, the nature of the economy in the next 3 years, the structure of the economy in the next 3 years, the requirement of the economy in the next 3 years, and note I'm not speaking here about oil and gas. That's not the economy. The economy is much more substantial than oil and gas. It is about agriculture, value-added, industrial development, human resource advancement, health as a foreign earner, education as a foreign currency earner, knowledge transfer, technology. This is the economy we're talking about. An economy that will be shaped and driven by highly skilled human resource base. And that has more potential than any singular oil and gas economy. And that is the economy we're targeting. For that, we require people. We require people. And this is where we have a natural population that we can go back to. That is the diaspora. But the diaspora also have to be ready and willing to engage and to come back. Yes, there will be risk. I'm not standing here to tell you everything is smooth and beautiful. Of course there'll be risk where there is no risk. There will be challenges. But don't say you want to be part of the development and then list 1,000 challenges why you cannot be there. Then you'll never be there. Successful businesses makes bold decisions, courageous decisions. Successful individuals also make bold and courageous decisions. So, whilst I agree, our natural pool is a diaspora, of which Canada has a large proportion. But that diaspora also has to be ready and willing to engage. I am known to say it as I see it. That is why today I had 3 briefs. 1 diplomatic, 1 business-oriented, and 1 smoothing. I rather to take the natural course and to say what I think we need to put on the table. This chambers did not just come about. I've had a distinguished honor to sit and talk to Richard White, and I want us to put our hands together for the work he did, who we lost along the way. Someone who I had personally, like Annan, tremendous hope of getting back home here to utilize his skills. But the opportunities are many. Suresh Bihari shared some very interesting proposals, none of which has anything to do with oil and gas, but a lot to do with people transformation, land transformation. I mentioned a few days ago at the Guyana Manufacturers and Services Association our plans of building and creating a secondary tongue. That is natural. It will be a natural offshoot of the development. Let me be very clear. This is not wishful thinking. This is not long-term thinking. This is near-term thinking. And we are looking for investors We are looking for capital, and we are looking for persons who are willing to take the risk for a rewarding future. So the door is open. We are looking at the creation and development of an agro-industrial zone that, of course, will benefit from tremendous tax incentives, from packaging. All of this, of course, relies on cheaper energy, and you will get that. We will get that. And we'll get it very quickly. We set a very ambitious target of getting that before 2023. And we're going to meet that target. We have no other choice. We have to meet that target. These are the things that would create new opportunities. There are certain growth areas that will bring with it many potential opportunity for investment. But key to this is for us as Guyanese to learn to put Guyana first. We have a serious problem, and I'm saying this with our Canadian partners, because sometimes the headlines can be misleading. We are a strongly knitted country that will realize its true potential in a united way. But we have always been negotiating from behind. For the first time, we are negotiating from in front and with great. I'll give you some simple examples. We have been trying to get our produce into one of our closest partners, CARICOM, for years. Still, we are trying. This has to change. We have facilitated investment from other CARICOM countries, from other partners, without any hurdle. Our private sector never came out and complained. Our private sector never said to the government, scale back. The fact of the matter, we have not been treated the same way. It's fact. It has to change. I'm sorry, it has to change. We're going to make the investment. We're going to share the opportunity. But we must get an even and balanced playing field. It took years to get our ice cream in some markets. Or ice cream, to get in some markets. What I'm saying to the Guyanese private sector, this is a time for us to come together. I've asked the Foreign Ministry today to bring a list of all the hurdles we have in every single market in CARICOM. And we're going to put together a joint team of the private sector and the government to break down those hurdles, to get our products in. Guyana is a safe place to invest. Guyana would facilitate investment. We are not going to put hurdles in your way. We are going to facilitate investment. But at the same time, your government has a responsibility to ensure that you don't have hurdles elsewhere doing business. And this is what we have to work on. So, High Commissioner, we are with you. Canada has been a very important partner. The establishment of the Guyana Chambers represents an overwhelming vote of confidence also in our country's future. It signals the high expectation for Guyana's economic prospect. And this is important for us to understand. We don't want chambers to be falling apart. The world is expressing confidence in Guyana's economy. Today, Canadian private sector, joining with Guyanese private sector, are expressing confidence in the economy. The government has to ensure we work closely with the private sector in realizing that confidence. Recently, my government has been accused of being too business friendly because we pursued some measures that brought some relief to the private sector. My response is that we want to become more business friendlier. We're not taking back the relationship. Businesses help to create wealth, help to generate jobs. It is the role of government to facilitate the growth and development of businesses, whilst at the same time, we facilitate the development of our human resources. We ensure that we collect enough revenue so that all of our population can have the best possible health care and the best possible education. That is the role of government. Equally, though, it's the role of facilitating business. So I think I've answered that notion of the government relationship with the private sector. Guyana and Canada have signed agreements which further economic relations. The two countries have inked a convention of the avoidance of double taxation and the prevention of fiscal evasion with respect to taxes on income and for the encouragement of international trade and investment. Guyana is also a beneficiary of the Caribbean-Canada Trade Agreement. Guyana anticipates that it will continue to benefit from duty-free access to the Canadian market under this or any successor agreement. So, High Commissioner, whilst our economy will be advancing, I know positions can change, but we are looking not only for the continuation of this duty-free access, but the expansion of the access. And with this Guyana-Canada chambers, I think we can ensure that we work together to continue this and expand it. Our economic relations undoubtedly have been a success story. From the beginning of our relationship, it has been truly a success story. For matter of fact, 1/3 of Guyana exports went to Canada in 2009. You play a significant role in the mining sector. We're looking forward for that role to expand with the partnership with Guyanese businesses into other sectors, the creation of new type of businesses, healthcare, education. I said to a forum a few days ago, health tourism in Canada in India is an important business. And a high percentage of the market is taken up by the Indian diaspora in both the United States and Canada. We are 5 and 6 hours apart between those two markets. The local private sector need to get aggressive, get to those Indian providers or other providers of similar nature and make the investment here. We are closer to the market. We can reach the market faster. We're in the same time zone. We have the skill sets that can be complemented. We just have to have the will and the drive to get it done. We are going to give more and more incentives to create opportunities in the health and education sector. Look at St. George's in Grenada, a teaching hospital. The formula is very simple. They use internationally renowned names, and it becomes attractive, and you get the accreditation. Now that we have this relationship between Guyana and Canada, we should seek to get the accreditation from Canada. Let us list what is needed to get the accreditation. Let us get the accreditation and create a new opportunity, a whole new area, a whole new opportunity here. Soon, we'll be linked to the development in Brazil, a road link, a bridge to Suriname. Enormous market potential. And you have many North American students who go to those other universities. It's a business. Opportunities are there. We have to not only target those opportunities, but to go aggressively after those opportunities. Canada's foreign policy, as I understand it, is grounded in respect for democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. Investors factor these principles into the decision-making matrix. If democracy, human rights, and the rule of law are jeopardized, it increases the political risk of doing business, and by extension, the cost of investment. Investors generally prefer stable democracies where respect for the rule of law exists. Such an environment enables economic freedom and is thus supportive of trade and investment. I want to thank High Commissioner, the staff, and Canada, not only for the role they play in their presence, but for backing that up with financial resources in the difficult 5 months we have had. I ask you to put your hands together for this. And I want to assure you that in my inauguration speech, I committed to convening a meeting between all former presidents of Guyana, and I have named December the 15th as the date of the first meeting. Democracy was greatly tested this year in Guyana, but democracy prevailed. Canada was among the countries which stood up and called for the democratic will of the Guyanese people to be respected. During my inauguration address, I thanked the members of the diplomatic community who fearlessly defended our people's political rights. Canada was in the forefront of this defense, and it was Her Excellency Lillian Chatterjee, the High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana, who courageously represented the values for which her country stood. I ask you all to give High Commissioner Lillian Chatterjee a resounding round of applause. I will surely miss High Commissioner Chatterjee for her frankness and openness, for her dialogue, and we have been talking a lot, sharing ideas. She has been a diplomat of a different style. And I must say, Guyana benefited from that style. I'm sure that you will convey to your successor our hope for a stronger partnership. I thank you again for standing up for Guyana. Last night on the news, High Commissioner said that she wants this chamber to be her legacy. With these respectable and honorable people who form the board of this chamber, I can say, High Commissioner, your legacy is intact. To the board, I urge you to think outside of the box, to look beyond the narrow news headlines that Guyana receives these days. That's oil and gas. We have one of the best tourism products. We can compete any day with Costa Rica. We don't have the investment. We don't have the airlift, especially from Canada. This is one of the areas that we need more competition in airlift. So if you can help us to facilitate the growth of our tourism sector, we will also be more than grateful to not only encourage you, but to facilitate those investments. There is no better time than now to have this interest in Guyana. There is no better opportunity than to make use of all that is ahead in our economy. But at the end of it, the greatest transfer we can make is a transfer to better the human resource base of Guyana. We have definitely bettered the human resource base of Canada. I always say that the Port Moran Training Institute, Gaisuku Port Moran Training Institute, has contributed to Canada most of your leading machinists in those workshops. So I think we have the reverse role now of getting some of that. Hopefully the self-sponsorship scheme doesn't get easier. So on behalf of the government, and let me take this opportunity also to thank Winston and all of the guys and girls who did such a brilliant job in pulling this together. But your work has now started. Please rest assured, you have the support of the government. You have the support of the private sector of Guyana. You have the support of AmSham, because I know they've been working in a collaborative way. And we can only be stronger together. May God bless all of you. Thank you very much. And please have a happy holiday season and a new year that will bring great investment to Guyana. Thank you very much.